Hello, hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you dig it? How are we doing? Kirsty, how are you doing? Botrix has changed. Can hear me and see me. Fantastic. And Botrix has got in early this time because I didn't cock things up. Happy days. You're good, you think. That's halfway there. If you think, that's a start. A lot of people don't think these days, so think yourself lucky. Yeah. Hello, Botrix. How you doing? You're alright? Hello, Mandy. How's things? You alright? Here we are on a Sunday yet again. Isn't it marvellous? I like our Sundays. Sunday service with the Reverend. Only I'm completely sacrilegious, obviously. How's things? Everyone good? I've kept it green. I might have to change it for next week though. Seeing as though it's now getting dark and all the vegetation will be dying off soon. Oh, and speaking of which, I hope this is not right, but every night when I go out for my walk, you can barely hear the kids screaming for the noise from the birds that we have. The wildlife is fantastic. And I went out earlier on and I couldn't hear a single bird. I don't know whether it's something to do with the weather, whether it's a change or not, or we've had some particularly successful raptors around here, but the birds were very quiet, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have took a video of me walk. Yeah, surprising just how quiet it was. It was quiet there wasn't many cars around, there was no people around either. But it was lovely. Really, really nice. The temperature was sound. It's not windy at all, not remotely windy. No rain. It was gorgeous. Perfect walking weather. No fireworks as yet. Southport is famous for the fireworks as well. Obviously, we should have had the British musical firework championship, but it was an absolute horrible weekend that weekend, weather-wise, so we got called off. Ewan, how you doing, mate? Ewan got his jelly beans the other night, by the way. I did say that they were mentioned not just in this stream, but within Kev's stream as well. Yeah, man, you will after the fireworks there. Plus, I guess where you are, it'll be easy to see them as well, won't it? Because it's not really heavily built up. I suppose you can probably see a lot of the sky, so you'll be able to see loads of the fireworks going off as well. And you won't just get your own fireworks, you'll also get those over Liverpool and over Manchester, I would have thought, if it's a clear night, which is nice. Very fast show there, wasn't it? Which is nice. Yeah, but I've not heard any yet either. I don't know whether it's, maybe I'm getting old and going deaf, but I've not heard a single firework. And we normally have by now. Yeah, man, big sky. Kirsty's got no jelly beans in. You can't hear me because of Jess blasting music. It better be decent music, that's all I'm saying. Good music. I can take that. If it's shite, I'm not having it. No, not had any fireworks there yet either. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I say Southport is fairly well known for fireworks. If you have any kind of anything, any celebration, and the whole town's lit up, it's ridiculous. But not had a single one. And where are we now? 22nd of October. We've got a week to go, just over a week, and it's not good music. Oh, yes. We need to have words. We need to have speaks about this. If you're going to be drowning me out of all people, me, then it needs to be decent music. Alright, change it to Noel Gallagher now. Right, okay. All is forgiven. Well, not all. No fireworks in your part of London yet. I would have thought The whole Camden area would have been like party central. There'd been fireworks going off left, right and centre. Started last week with you, man. Yep. Weird, innit? Well, where did he get them from? Or have supermarkets started selling them earlier and earlier this year? Bizarre. Crisis averted. China crisis averted. Yeah, they'll be going till January. Definitely. Be thankful though. At least they're not in the Netherlands. Ask Hadouik about them. The whole of December and January is just chaos over there with fireworks. It never stops. Poor animals. Terrible. I mean, they look nice, but the noise is absolutely incredible normally, isn't it? I wonder why we haven't seen any or heard any. I might try if I can this year. If there's going to be nights where it'll be busy with fireworks, I might try and get down the front where it's a bit darker. Just park the car up and see if I can get some videos looking over Southport. That might work. That might be all right. Might look good. Might be able to see the sort of towards Liverpool as well. I've done that a few times when I've been on the train on the way home on Bommy night. And then even getting as far as like Hightown and Formby, when you look back, you can still see loads of it. Any more exploding nuts? Not that I've noticed, and you would have thought I would have noticed, wouldn't you? No exploding nuts, no taste of almonds, so no one's trying to poison me this week at least, or this weekend at least. And I didn't get, talking of almonds, almond croissant are my favourite things, favourite little snack with a nice cup of tea or coffee. And our Tesco seems to have stopped doing them completely. So I had to eat pan of chocolat the other night, like an absolute animal. Daniel, how you doing, mate? Willkommen. Yeah, pan of chocolat instead of almond croissant. Devastated. That might go with your Yorkshire tea, but it doesn't go with Earl Grey, I'm telling you. Yep, doing well so far. Not many fireworks going off as yet. Kev, how you doing, mate? Did you finally get your head around Bottrix last night? It can be an absolute pain in the arse, can't it? But once you've got it set up, hopefully then you don't need to mess around with it anymore. You can just, if you want, you can change the colours or the backgrounds or whatever. There are ways of doing it. Yeah, they're on sale already. Just waiting for the young lads setting them off towards your windows, yeah, or firing them at each other. That's what normally happens. Absolute knobs. And I think everywhere will have them as well. No worries, Kev. It was I had to fire up the computer as well just to check a few things, just to make sure I was getting the right information to you. But it is good. If you have a look on YouTube itself, there's some Bottrix tutorials on the kind of things that it does. You can set up a store that people can trade the points in. The commands, people can trade points for commands that pop up on the screen that telling you to do stuff. So in your case, they could choose a song and you have to play it, and they'd spend the points on making you sing those songs. With me, it's looking like it's going to be potatoes. Tubers, not tunes, man. I am drinking tea tonight. So apologies to our good friend Adam with these absolutely beastly Ethiopian geisha coffee beans. They are fantastic, but I didn't have time to make it tonight, so unfortunately I'm just on the Earl Grey. Because I had everything sorted today. Everything was perfectly timed-ish. And then I had to go and have a shower. I had me walk and a shower, and then when I got down, I realised I took too long up there because I was scared of falling, and I had to run around like an absolute knob. Man, you want the ability to command. Now, you see, these commands are for people who choose to put them on the screen. I will not be commanded. Not by anyone. Not even someone as fabulous as yourself. No, not happening. I think some people have a change of camera angle. You can command it so you've got like a camera up there somewhere that shows what's going on, or there's some weird stuff that people use as commands. I haven't mastered commanders yet. Commandylicious, is that what you want to be, is it? After Licky Hush Rate, we got Commandylicious, here we go. And as we say it, Botrix pops up. Points do make potatoes, remember that. Or they will do at some point when we find out a way of getting a store up and going. You want commandments, 10 commandments. Maybe that's what I can do. I can come up with 10 commandments, and then at some point during the streams, you can choose one each. 10 commandos, or a camera on the inside of the car boot. Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of stuff. I've actually thought about that, which I should have done pretty much last month or so, when we still had the fairly light evenings. I could have had an outdoor cam showing you the skies. Might try and do that at some point. Yeah, during the stream, Kev, where people were levelling up, you can go in and change how many points it takes to levels up, or how many minutes and stuff. So you can do all that yourself, and also you can change bits and bobs in Botrix. Stream elements also do something similar. You'll find that most of it is aimed towards Twitch, though. A lot of the Twitch streamers use stuff like that, because it's more gaming oriented. When you do gaming streams, you can use commands to tell people, like during Call of Duty, you can command someone for the next 5 minutes just to use a knife rather than any guns and stuff like that. It's I've seen that used before. That's quite interesting. If I ever started streaming my gameplay, I think that'd be the kind of thing I would definitely do. Let's have a look. Just quickly F5 the shit out of this. Kirsty, you are level 9, 2,355 points. Mandy is out at the moment, out in the lead with level 12 and 3,045 points. And what a points make, potatoes. Hadwick is in second place. Lizzie's still in third as well. Although Kirsty will be catching up. Casper's doing well as well. Steve, yeah. The usual suspects are all doing well there. The ones who are always here. Obviously, always here, because the points are there. The points and the levels are there. It shows you. And again, speak of the other devil, and Casper appears. How are we doing, mate? You alright? It's mad, that, isn't it? I mean, you can choose in the settings under the loyalty system. You can choose how many points every 5 minutes. Additional points for members if you're a premium thing. If you sign up to a membership, you can get extra points and all kinds of weird stuff. It's really interesting. And it is weird that everyone's got really, really competitive for points in the chat. I mean, obviously, nothing to do with me talking, just it's all about points. And Kirsty's already started sliding. Still belong between memories, vehicle, baggage, believable. I can believe it, Kirsty, I can believe it. And Kev, you've got the pointless Grand Prix on the TV as well. Isn't every Grand Prix pointless? I mean, nowadays, I used to watch it during the late 70s, I remember some of it, but the 80s especially, 80s and early 90s, when we had the likes of Nelson Piquet, Alain Prost, Niki Lauda. Sorry, what? Niki Lauda? Yeah, fantastic back then. It's dull as shit nowadays. I'm going to make a suggestion, because I will become intergalactic emperor of the universe at some point. To make Formula 1 more interesting, 20 cars on the grid, 10 go clockwise, 10 go anti-clockwise, and we'll see how quickly they go into them corners then. Far more interesting. It's absolute shite now. I'd rather watch touring cars. British Touring Car Championships is fantastic, because they're normal cars. Well, they're not normal cars at all. They are race cars, but they look normal. They look like the kind of cars you could normally go and buy in a shop, or a garage. I answered my own question before I asked it there. but it is complete bollocks. Like football, I would introduce a multi-ball system if the games are getting boring as well, and then maybe snipers. Just try and improve things slightly, but a little bit better. Put cyclists on the track and zebra crossings. You see, that's the kind of thing. That's the blue sky thinking that Formula One is missing badly. We need that. Speed bumps. Just random speed bumps. Those ones that pop up in the middle of towns. Just some of them around the track that you need to slow down for. Chicanes, random chicanes of kids running onto the track trying to get the football that has been running down the street. Make it far more interesting. I'd watch that. Spikes. I don't like Verstappen. There's something about him I don't trust. Not watch much of it, but he always seems to be, he drives like a lunatic. And at some point, I think someone's going to end up very, very seriously mangled. Speed bumps, wouldn't it be great? Those ones that people try and stand on. If you see them in Liverpool city centre and Slater Street, they're always on, there's YouTube clips, Twitter clips and stuff like that. Standing on the bollards as they raise up and raise down. Raise up and raise down. Bollards can't raise down. Nothing can raise down. Fall down. Yeah, coned areas lap to lap that are in different places. Absolutely. Just change things up so you haven't got a clue where you're going from one lap to the next. Diversions. You come flying around the corner at 200 mile an hour and there's a fella leaning against a shovel with a sign saying, go this way. Random bollards. Is that for Formula One or is that what you think I'm chatting now? You're probably right with both, to be honest. I'm well up for that. It doesn't have to be every race. In fact, no, not every race. Don't let them get used to it. Just randomly during a race decide, here we go, murder ball time, and then bollards appear. There you go, two fellas with a pane of glass. How good would that be? And you get extra points if you don't break it. But if you do break it, you will be given points if it's done in a spectacular fashion. If you can spin the car around and go backwards to the pane of glass, you at least get some points for it. I'd be well up for that. This is the kind of thing, we could revolutionise Formula One. It could be the next big thing, never mind football. The sport that's taken the world by storm. Laurel and Hardy Formula One, it'd be perfect. Random pianos getting dropped throughout the course. I'd be up for that. I can hear a noise from somewhere as well. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Oh no, I do. It's there. It's my own voice coming out of headphones. The headphones that didn't work last week, they're only half working this week. Yeah, a stack of empty cardboard boxes. Again, you can swerve to miss them. But if the back end knocks them, a la Starsky and Hutch, you get extra points. You get like sort of, not just speed points, but artistic merit points. I'd be well up for that. Turn into a corner and all the other cars have stopped. Yeah, and then you have to stop and reverse dead quick as they come after you. Tiger sharks on rope swings. Again, I am well up for that. Anything that makes it more interesting. It is slightly Mario Kart. And Mario Kart is hugely popular. Far more popular than Formula One seems to be at the moment. So follow it. Follow its lead, follow its path. I can imagine the AI-inspired short for this one is going to be really, really interesting. There's an AI thing that cuts your live streams into shorts called Opus Clip. And it'll give you the score based on what it thinks the content would be like. And it'll say this starts off with a good hook and it's interesting. Mine always says that I change topic too often or just random. I turn off on a tangent, which is good. But it'd be interesting to see what they come up with. A donut area. Here you go, yeah. Points for perfect O's. In fact, if you can write someone's name or write your own name in cursive, you get so many points. If you can write someone else's name in cursive, if you can do a full sentence in cursive writing, then you win by default. Maybe that's where we're at. If 1,000 Formula One drivers in 1,000 cars doing 1,000 donuts, could they do the full works of Shakespeare? Learn a driver in a Fiat 500, definitely taking a wrong turn onto the track. Random people stalling. A bin wagon coming the other way with suspiciously chirpy fellas hanging off the back of it, swearing in a very, very aggressive Scouse accent. Or maybe they're just our bin men, aren't they? 7 o'clock in the morning, effing and blinding at the top of the voices. And that's just the women. Yep. Random slidey words. Definitely cares. We like random slidey words. They make things interesting. Actually, the green's looking alright, isn't it? Don't mind that. The moon has been charged as well. I don't know how long that's going to last though. The moon was looking great earlier on when I went out. And no matter how many times I tried to take a picture of it, it just came out like a pinprick in the sky. Bloody awful. Even those super blood moons, they look massive to the eyes. They always look small on camera. I need to find a way of sorting them out. Grannies on mobility scooters. They need to be watched. They're dodgy, them, lad, I tell you. When we had the pub, the George in Southport, one of the lads, we seen him going past the pub. Sort of, there was a hedge, and the hedge was around about shoulder height, and his head was going past rather quickly, and no one knew why. And he borrowed someone's mobility scooter, which he drunkenly crashed into the pub. That was a very, very enjoyable day because everyone was taking turns on it while they were pissed. 6 pints of Stella and a mobility scooter. It's a recipe for disaster, but it was hilarious. Animals running across the track. We've had that before, haven't we? Wasn't Formula One, I don't think. I think it might have been, was it Le Mans? It might have been Formula One as well, but I remember at Le Mans there was rabbits running across the track when you had them huge GT cars doing like 250 mile an hour flying towards them. So if any second one of those cars hits the bunny is going to be obliterated, but the car is going to be in bits at that kind of speed. You've allowed Bricklayer Memories Brownie behind. There's a lot going on in that one, Kirsty. I really hope that's a slidey sentence. Otherwise, there's a lot going on to unpack. Yeah, I'm up for that. I think we should at least put it forward. And we can't give it to Bernie Eccleston, can we? We can't suggest it to him because he's doing porridge at the moment. He's doing his bird. Lizzie says hi. Well, if you're talking to Lizzie, say hi back for us. Make sure she's all right. She is missed. Although, obviously, not by you too much because you're just about to overtake her in the list. Close. We need to change some of these sports. Some of it's so dull, isn't it? Some of the sport that you see on TV. I know, Mandy, you don't watch any of it, but you're not missing much, to be honest. The rugby league was fantastic this year, but apart from that, the football's been a bit shite. In lap 10, the tyres are removed, and on the rims, you have to go through a petrol spill on a ring of fire, a ring of fire. They switch to cabriolets, and then the wall of fat and offcuts ensues. Casper, do we need to have an intervention with you, mate? It's starting to worry me slightly. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wanted to try water skiing, but I couldn't find a lake with a big enough slope, so I ended there. I tried water polo, but 5 of my horses drowned. I read the wrong thing. Level 10 is 1,000 points. He read the watch points. Mandy, I've got level and point. That's all it shows for me. I haven't got the same thing. The link that you got, that it sent out last week or the week before, whenever it was, it doesn't show the same thing. Yeah, there's some. We do need an interpreter for some of the stuff that comes up in this. Excuse me. It is bizarre. Slidey words. I tried slidey words. My mate used to be great at it. Going back a few years ago, I don't know how he managed to master it, but he did. I couldn't get used to it at all. I thought I was in the right direction, getting there, and then something bizarre had come out. Although not as bad as the old, again, Nokia 3310 and stuff like that, where you had to press so many times for each letter. I once said, I want to apologise for being late because I'm stuck in a queue, and it came out as I'm stuck in a Steve. Completely different thing altogether. Mandy avoids water vehicles. By water vehicles, do you mean boats? Oh, hello, what's that? Taxi. I forgot I got the window open, so that was, it seemed rather loud. It's not rather loud at all, just the window's open. It's a taxi to Wendy. You crashed a jet ski and nearly died windsurfing. That's, yeah, I will not surprise you avoid water vehicles then. Windsurfing, I don't know why people try that in the first place. That's just, I don't know, I don't understand it. I can sort of understand surfing. Windsurfing, I just don't get at all. Jet skis are dodgy. If only Fools and Horses has taught us anything, don't trust jet skis. Unless you were a pilot in the Russian Air Force, is that what you meant? Steve, how are you doing, mate? Yeah. Don't trust the jet skis at all. There's something, again, I think they're too powerful and they're too difficult to pilot or drive or whatever you do with them without having some kind of lessons and understanding how you're supposed to drive them. Whereas you just go and, you go and rent them, don't you, off some bored-looking Moroccan on a Spanish beach, and next thing you know, you're putting your life in your own bleeding hands. Your foot trapped between a board and a sail. That doesn't sound a particularly good place to be. I don't like them. I don't get windsurfing. One or the other. If you want to fly, go and hang glide. If you want to surf, go and surf. Don't staple a hang glider to a surfboard and then say it's sport, because it's not. Not having it. Not having it at all. Mind you, surfing as well. The places where it's really popular are places where great white sharks live. It's a stupid thing to do. Not that sharks particularly eat people. They don't like the taste or the feel in the mouth, but they only find out they don't like the feel in the mouth after they've just took a little bit of a nip, at least. So it's not good. Don't go in there. That's their house. That's where they live. We have no business being there. We haven't got any Australians, have we? Australians especially, stay out the water. You're not welcome there. Everything that's in there, Billy Connolly said it right, everything that's in there wants to kill you. Blue-ringed octopus, the sharks, the rays, the things with stings, things with teeth, everything wants to kill you. Awful. Hope everyone's had a goofy weekend. A lot of surfing off Chroma. Are they still doing it, or is there just shit everywhere? Because that's what the rest of the country appears to be, like Newquay, like the hot spot for UK surfing. It's just an open sewer now, isn't it? It's ridiculous. On the jet ski, you forgot you have to go to turn. Yep. If you don't, you'll go straight into a ferry or straight into Holland or something. Goofy, you meant good. I thought you might have done, but we were talking about surfing, and I know with skateboarding, Goofy is where you place your feet in it. You can have normal and goofy, which I think sort of being southpaw on the board. So I thought you were talking about hanging 10. Casper, you sat on a jet scooter once. That's a 2-seater jet ski. Over 60 miles an hour. I suppose if you do hit the water, it's like hitting concrete. And also the world's fastest enemy, which we don't really want. Nah. I love the water. I love living near the water. The river. Going and standing and watching the Mersey going by of an afternoon, it's glorious. And I love being near the sea as well, but I got no interest on being anywhere near it, on it, in it at all. It was all right in Cuba because the sea was, even though it's the Atlantic, it was clear. It was not the shit brown that we have over there. And even then, we went. Cuba's got the second largest coral reef in the world after the Great Barrier Reef, and there's sharks there as well. And we went doing a little bit of scuba diving, and I cut my foot on a piece of coral and was bleeding heavily in the middle of a place where lots of hungry sharks are. And my arse went straight back on the catamaran, thankfully. After going to a sunken ship and then looking down through a hatch, and there's just like a big cartoon face looking back at me full of teeth. Wasn't a shark, I think it might have been a conger eel or something, but it looked bizarre. I thought, no, getting out of here, I don't like it. It was better on the boat because the ale was on there and the food. We had 3 fellas turned up in a ship that was made out of, it looked like it was screwed together out of corrugated iron covered in concrete. So it was a concrete and iron ship, which is bizarre, but obviously it sailed. They went and caught all the stuff for us. Fresh crab and lobster and all the other bits of seafood that you can get off Cuba. That was good, I enjoyed that. Although for about 2 or 3 days afterwards I felt like I was still going up and down, which was bizarre, even in bed. Horrible feeling. Right, so you bounced off the bottom until you could get your foot free. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Just ridiculous. Don't do it, man. We've got the land. We can do all kinds of stuff on the land. We don't need to be on the water. Never trust the British coastline. Yep, Steve, as someone who lives on the British coastline, I can absolutely 100% agree with that. You've been in a bubble boat. That was good. What's a bubble boat? Goedenavond, Hadwig. Hoe gaat het? Yes, Mandy, there is a yellow submarine in Liverpool. It is now currently parked outside the main entrance at Liverpool John Lennon Airport, so that anybody who's coming out of the car parks in and out of the airport sees it. It was the one that used to be in the Otterspool Prom Fantasy. Oh, what was it called? Festival Gardens. Yeah, the Mulberry Harbours on D-Day were made of concrete. It's bizarre when you see it, but it makes sense. I mean, concrete is full of air, so obviously it's going to be quite a good flotation device, really. But just seeing that thing that was going put towards us, like, this is just sketchy as. And they all jumped on the boat and got wired into the. It was all inclusive, so the ale was free, and the captain of the boat and all his mates were on getting hammered. Cooked the food downstairs for us, which was spectacular, and then got back on their boat. And I'm not sure if it's still sailing now. It might have sunk that afternoon, to be honest with you. Mandy, I'm not sure if you can go on it. I know when it was at the Festival Gardens, you could climb up the little stairs and get inside, and you could play on it as kids. I don't know if you're still allowed to, or it's now seen as a bit of freestanding sculpture, but it's there anyway. Right by the entrance to the airport. I was only there last month, picking me niece and her boyfriend up. So I saw it in all its glory, except it's lovely in yellow, and the skies that day were miserable and grey. So you've got a place called the Yellow Reef. It's where the Danish high plateau is, and the Norwegian deep begins. 150 by 20 kilometres, great fishing spot. Yeah, it will be. Anywhere where you've got sort of deep meets shallow, you'll always find it's fantastic fishing. Loads of nutrients get forced upwards. So, and the start of the food chain kicks off there all the time. The one in Cuba was bizarre because the water was so clear you couldn't see it. But it was a similar kind of thing that you could walk out, and then all of a sudden, about 100 metres off the coast, it just dropped, and it went down by hundreds and hundreds of metres. And you could see the water change colour. We could see it became a colour. It became a dark blue, and it looked shady. It became really choppy as well. We went out on a pedalo and got to this little ridge, and you could see it just suddenly dropped off completely. Scary. I thought, I don't want to fall off here, because I'm not going to fall to the bottom, obviously, but the currents must be horrible. Be like being a tumble dryer or a washing machine or something. It was a question at the No gig, was it? Can we all live on the Yellow Submarine? Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out, aren't I? As I say, I know you used to be able to. Back in the early to mid-80s, was it 84-ish, I think? 83, 84, we had the festival, the Garden Festival at Otterspool, and I definitely know you could get in it then, because I remember doing it myself when I was still fairly young at that point. Well, fairly young, I was 10 or 11, so I wasn't exactly a baby. Our bubble boat has a clear plastic bubble underneath with 2 seats, so you're under the water. Ah, right. I didn't know that. So I suppose that'd be fantastic if you were going somewhere that had some nice marine life. Not quite so good if you're off the coast of, I don't know, Blackpool, watching shite float by. Yeah, avoid that. Spencer sang it and the chat joined in, and you couldn't type fast enough. Yep. Norfolk, same thing. Lovely part of the country, obviously, but anywhere that there's water butting up against the side of the country, avoid like the plague, because if you don't, you will catch it. The plague, that is. It's horrible. We should have some of the best coastline in the world. I mean, have you seen some of the American reaction channels reacting to the nicest parts of the UK, and they can't believe just how nice. Like the beaches in Devon and Cornwall, how nice they are. It'll be the same for Norfolk. There's some Ainsdale beaches, lovely in Formby, where I am up here in the northwest. It looks gorgeous, but they're just allowing it to be an absolute cesspool. It's horrible. Shouldn't be allowed. We should have places where people genuinely come to spend time. You know, whether it's surfing, whether it's just being on the beach, like a beach holiday. Oh, yours was in Rhodes. Nice. A lovely view as you were almost drowning. How do you watching an election debate? Oh, very nice. Getting ready for elections, aren't you? Yes. Yeah, I've seen that. Should make it very interesting. Mandy's ridden a horse on Ainsdale Beach. It wasn't Red Rum, was it? Red Rum used to live just down the road from us in Birkdale. In the stables behind what used to be a Proton garage. Some of Ginger McCain's family used to drink in the pub as well. In our pub. Not just horses going up and down Ainsdale Beach, a lot of the footballers used to train there as well. I know Everton used to take a lot of the players to run in the dunes there. And Pat Van den Houw famously used to, when he got home at stupid o'clock in the morning after being out with women that he shouldn't have been out with and drinking and taking stuff he shouldn't have been taking, used to go running up and down Ainsdale Beach to try and sweat it out of his system before going to training. These are all in his book, by the way, so it's not just me making up stories. The Isle of Skye. I'd love to go to the Isle of Skye. It looks fantastic. In fact, the Orkneys, the Shetlands, all them islands off Scotland all look fantastic. Really, really nice. Seeing Bob Mortimer and Paul Whitehouse fishing up there looked great. And I seen there was a murder documentary thing about someone who got killed up there. It might have been Skye. And they only found them because a particular type of sand was found in someone's car, and it could only have come from where the body was found. So it was just bizarre, but it looked lovely. As murder locations are, this was right up there with the best of them. Yeah, tons of great beaches. Tons of great beaches there in Denmark. The currents out west can be tricky. The currents anywhere can be dodgy because you don't always know exactly where they are and how strong they are. I've seen people get into trouble. We were in Spain in a place called Rosas, or Rosas as it is now, with the Catalan spelling of it. That was again in the mid-80s, and there was all kinds of people getting into trouble because there was a really strong riptide. Luckily, my dad's a fantastic swimmer. I think he just finished playing football at that point, so he's still really strong and fit. He saved a few people that day. You wouldn't have recognised the footballer. This is the same footballer. He's from South Africa. No, actually, I think he played for Belgium. I think he was born in London and brought up in London. Played for Belgium, bizarrely. But with a name like Van der Nou, yeah, he would do. But he lived in South Africa, and he'd come back. He was in the Pen and Wig, which is a bar that we used to drink in Liverpool on a random Tuesday night, and he turned up wearing a silver bubble coat, trying to sneak about Liverpool unnoticed, being a favourite son of the city. And then it was in a lap dancing bar, was trying to get into the barmaid, and said, "Come away with me to Cape Town." And her reply was, "Cape Town? Who are you then, fucking Batman?" Which cut him down to size within seconds. So I thought it was a great comeback. He just laughed it off after that and then carried on drinking heavily. Proper Evertonian. Joseph's Belief Methodist Nudist Community. That was the part of the Bible I can't remember reading, that cursed. Yeah, Steve, the reason why we've had so much rain is the sea temperature is 2 degrees above normal. Makes a lot of sense that the northern hemisphere is suffering with a hell of a lot of heavy rains and floods at the moment. If the sea temperature is slightly higher, we get more evaporation and more clouds. More clouds equals more rain, and we're not ready for it. Also means that a lot of the stuff that would have made its way further south instead is not getting there, so they're going to end up with droughts. Well, we've got an El Nino coming up soon, which can absolutely annihilate the weather all over the world. So we're going to have to get used to this, unfortunately. We know climate change is real because the climate is changing. I mean, you can actually see it happening in front of our eyes. And yet they seem to be doing nothing about it, which is great in a way, because when you've got people like Donald Trump saying it's a load of bollocks, some of his places like Mar-a-Lago in Florida and the Trump Tower in New York and things will be underwater fairly soon if there's just a small rise in sea levels, rather. So it should be interesting. The west coast is vastly more violent weather-wise. Yep. Rip currents called horse holes. Yeah, they will claim a couple of unknown German tourists every year. The horse holes. I think there's a famous one again up near Scotland, which just everything looks calm, and then there's always this one thing. It's like the Great Red Spot. Just absolute chaos is going on there. And if you're not careful, you can end up in serious trouble, whether you're in a ship or a little boat or a jet ski or anything, or just swimming. You can end up serious trouble. 7% to 1 at every 1 degree. We are in trouble, especially those of us who live near the coast. Just a little bit of a level rise at the seas, and where I am will be underwater. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be great. At least the garden will look alright, won't it? It's dark, but the garden does actually look great because the gardeners came out and did the final cut of the year, I think. Cleaned everything up, looks marvellous. All the stripes are in it. Looks like a bowling green, but with less pensioners on it. See, we're not below sea level here, we're at sea level, but it's one of those really strange where we are. We never ever see the sea. It comes in a couple of times a year, really. Most of the time it's out, and we just see the beach being huge like the Sahara Desert. But when it comes in with a vengeance. We've had to have proper sea walls put in to protect the town, and that's before any of the lunacy that's going on now. Yet London will be underwater as well. The flood barrier will not be able to cope with what is coming our way. Places with salt flats, would they just fill up and be fertile again? You know what, you never know with them. A lot of the salt flats will be miles inland, aren't they? I mean, hugely miles inland. If they happen to get water that far back, I suppose they would do. We only see the sea on spring tide. It's a bit more than just spring tides. It comes in really, really heavily on spring tides. There's a few high tides that come in and look really dodgy. But just day to day, I can drive down there, and when it's supposed to be high tide, you don't see the sea at all. It's just a little bit further out. You can see it shimmering sometimes in the in between here and Blackpool. So we know obviously Blackpool's just up the road from us. So we know they've got the sea, so it's not that far away, but just doesn't come in as much as it used to years ago. Which is a shame, because when it does come in, it can look fairly atmospheric. Yet water finds its level, it does. And it will find you if you're not smart enough and on it. Dodgy water. It's something we can't live without it, and it can kill us within seconds. This is such a strange thing. They evacuated a couple of hundred households on a couple of beaches near where your mother lives when it stormed the other day, only 2 kilometres away. Yep. We're going to have to start getting used to this kind of thing happening. In the same way that over in the States, they have to get used to tornadoes or hurricanes, wherever they are over there. Tornado Alley. I mean, if you're going to build houses in a place called Tornado Alley, expect that there might be the occasional, tornado. But we're going to have to get used to it as well, because the weather, we've noticed it, or at least it's been more noticeable over the last few years that we're having more and more of these storms that, instead of just getting a little bit of heavy rain towards the end of an Atlantic storm, we're now starting to get the wind as well. Storm Eunice the other year, when we had the planes struggling to land, people were dying left, right and centre, because it was just, we're not used to having that kind of thing. It's normally blown itself out by the time it comes back across the Atlantic to us. But we are going to have to get used to it. It is now part of our life. We are going to have these things. And eventually, you never know, we could end up getting the proper full-on hurricanes. Just absolutely annihilating the UK. 1987, we always thought that was going to be a one-off, but it looks like it might be happening more often. Salt marshes just a couple of miles up the road from you, stunning this time of year. I can imagine. I've seen, I think the hairy bikers went there picking samphire in Norfolk in the salt marshes, and it looked amazing when they were there. And I think I've seen a couple of episodes of Coast where they've gone bird watching. The place looks stunning, I must admit. The UK looks amazing. What was that? The David Attenborough series about the UK. That was absolutely gorgeous. Just how beautiful this nation can look. And we need to look after the place, because if we don't, it's going to be ruined. And we're letting rich people ruin it. The ones who've got enough money where they can go and fly off to wherever they feel like, and won't suffer. It's us that'll suffer from it. That type of storm hits there maybe every 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years should be often enough for anyone. It's going to be more than that now, I think. Most salt plains have seashells in. They used to be sea, they will be again. Saying that, so does Mount Everest. That used to be at the bottom of the sea. And it's the Indian plate and I don't know, is it Eurasian, which I can't remember which plates they are, but smashing into each other and then pushing everything upwards. And that's how you've got the Himalayas. Two tectonic plates crashing into each other. So everything that you see used to be at the bottom of the sea. And eventually it will be, due to the second law of thermodynamics. In a closed system, everything tends to atrophy. And it will do. Everything will go back to its elemental form. So I don't believe in reincarnation in the way that Hindus and Buddhists and whatever do, but we will all break down into our atomic constituent parts and will be regurgitated back into whatever the next thing is. Knowing my luck, of course, I'll come back as myself. Steve has definitely been to Horsey Wind Pump. That sounds like a hell of a place to go. That's gonna have to be one on the tick list, that, isn't it? If you're at the beach and an earthquake happens, get away. Yeah, the sea disappears, run away from the coast. If the sea starts disappearing, a tsunami is on its way. There's video of that. We used to get told about that in the days gone past, didn't we? If the sea disappears, run away. All of a sudden, we're now starting to get video of tsunamis hitting, and the sea just pulls back completely. It is such an eerie thing. Looks bizarre. Oh, man. I thought this cold was going, but it's coming back, I think. No es bueno. Oh. Pen. Why do I need a pen? I don't need a pen. Oh yeah, I do. I work for a living, don't I? Apparently. That reminds me, I've got to text me boss soon. Remind me of that, because I will forget. Because unfortunately I had brony explodey. The debate is over. Who won? Has anyone won? Yes, Kirsty, I have got some over-the-counter cold and flu medicine. Lemsip Max Strength Cold and Flu. Which is good stuff, but it seems to be hanging on. Worrying me slightly. My sister's convinced that everyone in the house has had COVID. Bizarre, but there you go. How do we? No, you didn't miss anything. We were just waiting for you to get back. Yeah, Mandy, you saw the reel the other day. If you shrank the Earth to the size of a pool ball, it would have a smoother surface than said ball. Yep. Because of the size of the whole planet. I mean, Mount Everest looks really huge. If you stand at the bottom of it and look up, it is massive. But on a global scale, it's not. It's just, it would be smooth. It's incredible. There's loads of stuff like that. I mean, there's, what was I watching the other day? I think The Planets. I've been watching loads of Brian Cox stuff. There's one with him, there's one with Dr. Ian Stewart as well, where he showed you the Earth and then took the water off it and put it in a ball next to the Earth. And it's smaller than the moon, it's tiny, the amount of water that is on the Earth. And all of that has got to keep us going. That life doesn't exist without the water, and when you see it next to the Earth, it's like this tiny little bit. It is scary. But it sustains all human, or in fact all life on Earth needs water. Bizarre. 22nd of November, so it's not that far away. I wish our election was around that time as well. It won't be, because they're hanging on for as long as they possibly can, which I think the latest they can be is January 2025. Yes, Steve, Simon Dan and his battle against the flat earth is absolutely hilarious. He's a very, very intelligent lad, is Dan, and the people he's up against. It's not really a fair fight because they are as thick as shit. But it is funny. He does some fantastic stuff, and it's great when you can get someone who can explain things in detail. The fact that they still just will not give in and say, yeah, you're right, you're absolutely right. No. It's only 19 kilometres from top to bottom. Everest to the Mariana Trench, yeah. The Mariana Trench is huge, isn't it? It's so deep. And Everest so tall, but yeah, there's sod all between the two of them. I think there's Mount Olympus Mons on Mars. That's the largest or the tallest structure within the solar system, and that's taller than that, I think. Definitely not Dan's other channel, Simon Dan. Different Dan, but also very interesting. Our Dan doesn't need any more channels. I don't know how he manages to keep up with them. I really don't. And he's putting stuff out on all of them as well. It's not as though it's just keeping one in reserve just in case. Everything's got stuff on it. It's mad. Fair play to the lad. It's 22. Is that Olympus Mons is about 22 kilometres, so it is still taller than that. I know Everest. You can put it in the Mariana Trench. Was it twice or something? And it still wouldn't break the surface. It's crazy, or something like that. Or I might have got that one wrong. I don't know. I can't remember. I had to sleep that night, but I've been watching loads of his stuff. I like falling asleep to intelligent stuff about the world around us. Do you know what? I haven't got round to watching the latest podcast about conspiracy theories. I've got my watch list to watch. It's just getting longer and longer and longer. I need to go in there and start deleting some stuff that I don't really want to watch and watch some stuff that I do want to watch. So I might have to watch that later. I've got a few things that I need to check out. And there'll be more as well, because there's more and more stuff about Sniper Wolf and Jack's films where she doxed him. Ridiculous. And seems to have got away with it, really. He's been demonetised probably for about a week or two, at which point she'll be able to go back to being an absolute knob. Mariana Trench is just about 11 kilometres and Everest is nearly 9. There you go. Yeah, so we can drop it in the Mariana Trench and it wouldn't even pop out of the top of the water. I know something I mentioned on a previous stream about Everest is the tip of Everest is in the jet stream, isn't it? It's part of the reason why you can only really go and climb Everest in spring, in sort of May, because otherwise the pressure is such that the top of Everest is in the jet stream and the winds are so strong that it'd be almost impossible to be up there. You just get blown off the top of the mountain. I'm still waiting for the fact about the inside of a balloon. There's nothing to it. You didn't think that was a real thing, did you? Not like me to lie about stuff like that, is it? I wonder how many facts you could get about an inside of a balloon. Could you freeze the inside of a balloon? Is there enough moisture in the air to freeze it? And if you could you then pass a needle through it? Do we need to do this? Do I need to do this live on... I haven't got a balloon in the freezer, unfortunately. Or I might just have to, when Kippers or Horace is doing their bit, I might have to see if I can Google 101 facts. Steve, it's not Ashley Young's shirt behind me, because if it was, it would be in ribbons now. That's a proper Young who played for Everton. A genius Young, a good footballer Young. Not an Al knob who plays for us. Go ahead, Kirst. Our in-house Googler. See what you can come up with. There must be something. Yeah, the jet stream between 5 to 15 or 4 to 8 miles up in the air. Yeah, it pokes into the jet stream so much that there is only that 1 month or so, month and a half, where it's people are able to get to the top of Everest. Otherwise, the winds are so strong you can't get on there. Popped toy balloon makes the noise of a sonic boom. Yep. The first living beings that flew in a balloon were a sheep, a duck, and a rooster. Latex balloons are biodegradable. The pressure on the inside of a balloon is about 960 millibars, give or take 75 millibars. Jeff has redecorated the basement. He still wants out of there though. Cheers, Jeff. I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, to anyone who's got... I've been watching, like I said, the murder documentaries and true crime stuff. It just... in America especially, they seem to celebrate people's lives by going out and releasing loads of balloons. Which, of course, when the helium balloons start to sag and drop, they fall to the ground, to the earth, and kill all the little animals. So please don't release balloons because it's not good for the environment. But it wasn't blood red, but after 5 minutes of them being down there, green, it could be mint green, with hints of blood red. Green is soothing. Blue is supposed to be soothing, apparently. And I can assure you, as an Evertonian, it's not. Because there are times when I've lost my shit seeing people wearing blue. Teal. Teal, of course, being the corporate colour of the people I work for. Now you have 99 Luftballon in your head. In the original German, I hope. Rather than the frankly awful English version. Naina's band couldn't look any more German if they tried, could they? I've got to think about European sort of rock bands. They all dress the way they think rock bands should and the way it looks cool, and it just isn't. It looks awful. Leather trousers and sleeveless t-shirts and things. No, that's not what you're supposed to look like. That's why I hate Roxette. That gimp who's in Roxette, the lad. It's like someone said to him, this is what a rock star is supposed to look like, and then he's playing piss awful pop music but trying to look like he's in a heavy metal band or something. Stop with the leather kecks. They're not good. Of course, in German, you don't know the English version. The English version is 99 red balloons. Because they couldn't do Luftballons, so they had to change it to red balloons. Nena, yep. Did well out of it though. One major hit, and everyone around the world pretty much knows it. And it's quite a catchy, upbeat number, isn't it, for a song about... Is that another one that's about nuclear war? Mad. Quite a few of them, isn't there? Songs, sort of jaunty songs about nuclear war and carnage and things that have made it to number one in the charts. Marvellous. There you go, Mandy singing. Do we have to do the no gig applause after this as well? Everyone get ready, copy and paste your applause after this. 99 red balloons, floating in the summer sky. Luftballon, yep. I seem to remember the German version a bit better than the English version. Yeah, this is what was waited for. This is it, boys. This is war. Latex balloons without high float only last about 8 to 10 hours from inflation. Foil balloons float for about 5 to 7 days. Plastic bubble balloons float for 1 to 2 weeks. Air-filled balloons can last for months. That makes sense because it's just air inside, and it should be the same at the same sort of I don't know what am I looking for. Obviously, helium is lighter, and it reaches a certain point where it's no longer lighter. Normally, yeah. Sod it. I can't even speak English today. Yeah, how about weather balloons and spy balloons? I know the weather balloons, have you ever seen them? They look dead small and there's virtually no air in them whatsoever. But when you let them go, as they go higher and higher, they expand and expand and they end up being absolutely huge. I think they're designed specifically though, aren't they? The weather balloons are. They're designed to pop at a certain height so that the stuff that is on there measuring, wherever it's measuring, falls back down to earth. If you leave it too long, it'll just disappear somewhere. Man, you were friends with the psychoanalyst or the co-pilot of the Enola Gay. That must have been something else. Having that on your conscience, knowing how many people died and what an effect and impact it would have had on the world forevermore. I mean, obviously, you're just doing your job. You're doing your job, aren't you? I was just saying job and read war, and then it came out as jaw. How bad's that? And talking of war type songs, yeah, Enola Gay, OMD, again a really jaunty song about nuclear lunacy. A Luftballon is a hot air balloon, not just a regular one, yet. Oh, Felix Baumgarten, yeah, he was the one that jumped out of the balloon, the Red Bull one. I watched that documentary. I think I actually watched it when it was live as well, when he was jumping out. That is just insane to do that. That lad's got minerals on him. That really has. Crazy. Just having the idea to do it in the first place, you need your head checking to then go and do what he's done. Absolute lunatic. Yeah, in Dutch, Luchtballon is a hot air balloon and a ballon is a regular balloon. So we learn things in these streams, don't we? It's not just a string of knob gags. Speaking of knobs,
Kippers kicks ass. Kippers kicks ass. Kippers kicks ass.
there's something going on here, isn't there? Is he still going on there? Yeah. The wacky world of baby names. Some parents are paying up to $30,000 for a doula to create a bespoke moniker for their offspring. Taylor Humphrey can find you a baby name that fits your family's personal brand, but it might cost you $30,000. These people need a slap. Big book of baby names, 15 quid on Amazon, wankers.
Kippers kicks ass.
It is 15 quid on Amazon. You don't need to be spending $30,000 for someone to give you a name that fits in with your personal brand. Your family personal brand. What a load of shite that is. Just pick a decent name. Right, so you're the Enola Gay pilot. No regrets apart from being bitter because it was his plane and he thought he was going to be the main pilot. I can understand that. Obviously, it's one of the sort of the biggest things that's ever happened in humanity. And you thought you were going to be the main dude. Despite the wide use of satellite technology, countries including the UK are also focusing on the development and use of spycraft to operate in the other upper atmosphere. Yeah, I totally understand that. That's why they're still launching balloons, spy balloons. What is a doula? Should we find out? a woman, typically without formal obstetric training, who is employed to provide guidance and support to a pregnant woman during labour. So it's just a fucking know-it-all, to be honest. Weather balloons can climb more than 100,000 feet, more than double the cruising altitude of commercial aircraft. Yep. Their floating instrumentation has long been part of a meteorologist's... I can't speak. Why on earth? Doesn't every country have weird baby names? We do. Every single place does. That's some strange stuff. Kipper's had his arse kicked by Jeff. He has, by the sound of it. Yes, a quack. Exactly what it is. People who've got no training whatsoever, but are claiming to be genius. The world's full of them. C-U-A-C-K, quack. Like a duck quack. Yep. Jeff, I think, is getting involved in something here because there's things not going right on these streams lately. And it's only since Jeff turned up. We don't trust Jeff. Jeff is dodgy. Yeah, life coaches, they're the ones that are life coaches. And normally, their lives are no better than ours. So, why are we paying the money to coaches? If it's not like, I've done this, so you shouldn't. Who needs a life coach? You've got your parents for that normally, haven't you? Or your mates. Most popular baby boy's name in the UK is Mohammed. There was, if I remember rightly, about 10 years ago, there was at least 7 Adolf Hitlers in the UK. I can't remember where I saw that, but it was one of these things where it had weird... there was, like 7 Adolf Hitlers, and there was more Homer Simpsons, and there was something else. There was a few people called Satan as well. Bizarre. I do, yeah. I know there was someone that I had to deal with in work who had some of the weirdest names I've ever seen in my life. And the first kid was normal. Just had a normal name. After that, they must have started getting into the smoking, into the fantasy genre, because the kids' names were just off the scale. Yeah, man, we don't need Jeff as the most popular boy's name in the UK, if this one's anything to go by. To be honest, all the Jeffs I know have all been sound, just normal fellas. Fellas who paint the house with magnolia once a year, who will potter around in the shed. They're not dismembering corpses in the basement like our Jeff. They're Luke and Emma, the number 1 names last year. Luke, yeah. Emma doesn't really seem like a strong Dutch name, but obviously it is. Emma, of course, there was Chris Moyles, the Radio 1 DJ at the time, used to have a little section on his show saying all Emmas are evil, in the same way that all Jeffs are boring. All the Emmas that I know are all sound, apart from, well, one who keeps threatening to stab me. But I think that's done more through love than hatred. But yeah, no, I don't really know any evil Emmas, and I don't know any not boring Jeffs, they're just normal, down-to-earth lads, the Jeffs that I know. Dependable. Jeffs are dependable, aren't they? Everyone knows a Jeff who's dependable in the UK. I also think that everybody in the UK knows at least one Big John, one Big Al, and one Big Dave. You've worked with brothers called Joe and Wayne King. Did Wayne have to work a week in hand? Koning in Emma feels very Dutch. Yeah, well, maybe I've just been away from the place for that long that didn't seem Emma seems a sort of very English kind of name, sort of an English rose kind of name, if you know what I mean. But possibly not. I suppose names nowadays, they aren't really tied to countries anymore, are they? because everyone's connected by the World Wide Web. We're more aware of what people are called around the world. We're more aware of other people's cultures. So you can just go and take whatever you need. Brians or Brians are usually wild. Yeah. Funnily enough, the Danish lad who lived over the road from us, who played for my dad's team, did he have kids? Michael and Brian. And then, of course, you had Michael and Brian Laudrup. Good Danish name. You've only known one Jeff and he was your roadie. I am convinced that every road crew will have at least one Jeff involved. There's got Jeff the roadie. It's got a ring to it, hasn't it? Was he dependable? Dependable Jeff the roadie. There's an overlap between some English and Dutch names. Yeah, I would think so as well. The countries are so close anyway, and we've been in and out of each other's countries over the last so many thousand years anyway. It's guaranteed there's going to be an overlap with them. What I can't be doing with is the made up names. It's just stupid, some of it. The American thing again. I always sound like I'm digging out Americans here. I'm not. But you understand why with this. Just putting D at the beginning of a normal name. You know, DeAndre, DeNicholas, DeJohn and all that. I've seen someone, I'm sure it was going to be DeDuncan or something. It's like, you can't have names like that. Just adding D at the beginning of it doesn't make it a brand new name. Stop it. Where are the places where you're only allowed to pick from a certain amount of preset names? If they're not in that book or they're not, you've got to send in what name you want to call your kids, and then someone writes back and says yes or no. If they say no, there's a list of names you can call your kid, and you've got to pick it from there. Done deliberately to stop people calling them stupid bloody stuff. We need to do that in every country, I think. Stop people having stupid names. Like the lad who used to play for Swansea, the fullback, Spanish fullback. Angel Rangel. Angel Rangel. No, you can't be doing that, mate. In the early 2000s, there was a trend there to name children actual things. What kind of things do you mean there? Just after, like, Bloom, Storm, Bear, Wolf, Zomer. Right. Well, Zomer, summer is a name over here. It gets used quite a lot. Storm, that's quite a popular name, isn't it, in the Northern Europe, so Scandinavia. Yeah, seen plenty of storms. Bloom, that's not bad. I quite like Bloom. Wolf, again, it's quite a Germanic name, isn't it? There's quite a lot of Wolfs, Wolfgangs and Wolfarts and stuff like that. Beer. Beer. I suppose, yeah, there will have to be trends as well, won't there? Be loads of trends with names. Stuff that comes in and out of fashion. Like, I was at my occupational therapy on Friday, and there was a little kid in there with his mum, and the kid must have been in there quite a lot, on and off, because they knew the receptionist, and the receptionist knew them quite well, and he'd done a card for her saying thank you, and his name was Albert. And I just thought, that's such an old-fashioned name, but it suited him perfectly. What a brilliant name to call a kid. You're not going to have many Alberts nowadays, but it seemed to be just really, really good. I like that. It's not a Sports Direct mug. It's one bought specifically off that there internet there. The Sports Direct mug is always used for making gravy in this house, which I'm sure it is for most houses. We already had Merle, Modeleaf and Rose. Yep. Rose, of course, Rose. I did deal with someone whose first name was Ruby, who married a fella whose surname was Ruby. So her full name was Ruby Ruby. It was fantastic. And they looked like they'd been married for absolute donkey's years. They were both in the 70s or 80s. What a great name that is. You have a cousin Eira, which is Welsh for snow. She was born on Christmas Day. That's good, I like that. At least it's got a proper backstory behind it and a reason for calling them. As opposed from having a kid who's called Adolf Hitler in the 1990s or 2000s, whenever it was I've seen that. Yep, keep chatting away on points. Push buttons too. Although I need to stop pushing buttons because there's something spectacularly wrong. I don't know why it's doing that. Should we try again? Should we push more buttons? Shall we? Horace's haikus. Yeah, come on, let's see if this works. The world is melting. Climate change causing chaos. My plums are sweaty. Well, that worked. Maybe Jeff's pissed off with Kippers but quite likes Horace. And he hasn't got involved. That would make perfect sense. The Mattress Man. The owners live near us and his wife's called Kerry Kerry. Never heard of that. That's another good one. I like that. His name's not Harry, is it? Got some awesome last names. Naakt geboren. That born naked. Van Kai. Beffer. Hork. Yeah. Van Kai, Beffer and Hawk. That sounds like Fantastic Mr. Fox, that doesn't it? Naakt geboren. Oh, boss. Your name translates as beloved of the beloved, which you like, obviously you would do. I think Nicholas is it's a Greek name, isn't it? Meaning tall gobshite. Something like that anyway. Must have done, because that's what I've been called most of my life. Kerry Kerry and Ruby Ruby. Them two should get together and start a band. Also some names that suck in English, like Booger. Yeah, there was a fella who used to play for West Ham called Marco Bogers de Kok. Yep, King and Fokker. Steve doesn't mean that, mate. We know we don't. Yeah, Bogers, Marco Bogers. Casper, your mum grew up next to a couple where the woman was called Inga and the husband was called Inga. I suppose we get that with names that we have over here as well. I know a few Nick and Nicks, Nicholas and Nicola. A few of them. I think there's more than that, isn't there? And you have Anne as both male and female name there. Anna. I didn't know that. You lived next to a female Johnny once. I think yeah. Isn't that a Waterboys song as well? A girl called Johnny. A William Williams. And you call him Billy Bullshit. William Williams. That's not a particularly Welsh sounding name, is it? Hello, William Williams. Where was you going when I saw you coming back? Well, I don't know, man. I'd been, hadn't I? The male Anne is only from Friesland. Alright. You have a colleague named Boy. There was a footballer when we lived over there whose name was Fuka Boy, which is not a particularly good name. I'm glad he never really made his mark in the UK. You'd have had to change it to Jimmy Savile, I would have thought. It's weird names around the world. And it's strange that we have like short names mainly short names, and you go to the likes of Indonesia, the Philippines, and Sri Lanka, and the names are just ridiculous. You know, quite a few men named Boy in the Netherlands. Boys to men. Does it stay boy throughout the life? Or does it change as they grow older? That's strange, yeah, but I suppose. Yeah. Horses for courses. Different strokes for different folks. And all that bizzo. And it wouldn't do for us to all just be exactly the same. It's bad enough with John Smiths in the UK. All those names where there's just a billion of them. We had, again, don't want to keep on bringing this back to football, but we had a player at Everton called Lee Tai, or Lee Tie. And we used to sing There's Only One Lee Tai, and apparently Lee Tai is like the equivalent of John Smith in China. So there's probably millions and hundreds of millions of them, and we're singing There's Only One of them. Yeah. It's weird names. Definitely weird. There we go. Tales from the Crypt with Jeff. What's he getting involved in here? Jeff 2.0, the rebrand. Out areas at Euro Grizzly with the kids. McDemons, not as evil as those who order a fillet of fish, be honest. Yep. Got to agree with him there. Did you notice there was 3 little pictures and each one lasted 6 seconds? Jeff's trying to rebrand that he's not actually evil. Yep, Jeff is a blue devil with the blue eyes. In a mint green basement with the walls running blood red. He cannot be trusted. He's definitely shafted Kippers tonight, hasn't he? Terrible, terrible. The rebrand's not working either. Sorry, Jeff. It's not working, mate. Not having it. You're not coming out of the cellar either. Just checking to make sure he hasn't signed us out of you know who either. And he hasn't, has he? Palm and Strange are last names here. Palm and Strange are a night in for single males over here. Or is that Stranger? Palm and Stranger. I think I've heard Stranger before. Again, I think it's a footballer, but I don't think it's his first name. I think it might be a double barrel name. It's Stranger Larson. Yeah, Jeff is a horny devil. He looks like he's got at least 4 kids, according to those pictures. 2 girls, 2 lads, or 2 girls, 1 lad, and 1 real spawn of the devil. Definitely the spawn of the devil. One looked evil in that The Omen with the bowl haircut. Dodgy. Don't trust Jeff. That we know of, yeah. He could have a million brides and tens of thousands of kids. The Killing, there's a detective called Strang. I haven't seen that. To be honest, I can't be doing with Scandi dramas. Seen loads of documentaries about the likes of Norway, and all the houses are red and it's a gorgeous looking place, and then you watch those Scandi dramas and everyone's miserable and alcoholic and everyone's getting killed every 5 minutes. Nah, not having that. Definitely not having it. Mind you, in the same way that Midsummer, a beautiful English county, has got a murder rate that's higher than Detroit, and everyone seems to keep on moving there. Bizarre. I missed Columbo earlier. It was a really good episode as well of Columbo. I should have watched that. Nah, instead I sat watching, what did I watch? Footy. FC Köln against Borussia Mönchengladbach instead. I should have watched Colombo. Much better. And yet, Jeff, he might be. Mandy, how do you know Jeff is a horny devil? We need to know this. Are you in cahoots with Jeff? Is that why you're top of the table? It's a masterpiece, and we are miserable and alcoholic. How can you be miserable and alcoholic? You've got to be happy on the ale, haven't you? Says the man drinking ale grey from a huge mug. I also don't like the Scandi dramas because there's always one on BBC 4 on a Saturday night, and it's called Beck, and it pisses me off because I like Beck the musician, and I always think there's something good on about him, and it's not. Yeah, I'm not surprised you get confused by the English names for series and films. That again also works with things that have moved over to the United States from the UK especially, where they have to call them something different, and it never makes any sense. One, was it Mandy, you mentioned that recently with the Fast Show was called Brilliant over in the States, and it makes no sense at all. Certain things you just can't change the name of it, and certain things shouldn't be attempted to be made anywhere else. Red Dwarf, the US tried to make, though the remake of that they tried to make was truly abysmal. They never understood it one bit. I know The Office seems to be regarded as being fantastic. I haven't really watched the American version because the whole point of The Office was it was the whole cringe aspect of working in an English office, and it's not the same over there. Thankfully, they made it their own. Oh yeah, the Annika with Nicola Walker. That was, I remember hearing that on, was it Radio 4? It used to be, didn't it? It used to be a radio series before they made it into a TV series. That looks to be quite funny. Yeah, they might have thought the Fast Show was about dieting. A diet of cheesy peas. The Americans would break their tongue over, is that Urfeard? Is that how that's pronounced? Yeah, I think they probably would do. Oh man, I think they would struggle with that. Mind you, I think most of us would. Brilliant, yeah, cheesy peas. I like the Fast Show. It's been on, hasn't it? Or it was shown not too long ago on like a Wednesday night or something, when there was bugger all else on BBC Two. They'd throw on the Fast Show. Just showing you that we used to be able to make really funny sketch shows. We don't anymore, do we? Can't remember the last time I watched one that was funny. Do we even make little sketch shows anymore? You don't speak Icelandic. Yeah, I'm thinking of I know with the little thing over it might be an Ferd. Looks like Ferd. Mind you, that D might not be a D, might it? Scorchio. No, not Scorchio. Yes, I do suffer from Scandinamophobia. It's too bleak, man. They're always on a Sunday night. When you happen to get yourself in the right frame of mind for work on a Monday morning, you don't need to be watching Scandi dramas where everyone's, like you say, drunk and it's miserable and snowing and grey and people are dying left, right and centre. Can't be doing with that. I need cheering up on a Sunday night. So yeah, avoiding that. Scandi dramas can sod off. I'm going to find something to watch tonight though. There's no Red Dwarf tonight. Dave used to put it on at midnight and then it went to 1 o'clock and I'd just stopped completely halfway through a series because The lunatics. Not good. Not good at all. I need to be in my little, me list, me rut on a Sunday night. Get myself sorted. What was the miserable one with Kenneth Branagh in it? Was that Hamlet? Everything with Kenneth Branagh in it's bleeding miserable. It's gone from Hamlet to Belfast. Nothing miserable about Belfast, by the way. I like Belfast. Not the film, the actual place and the people. Fantastic. I haven't been over for a while. I need to get back over there at some point. But I'm not working with the same people, so unfortunately I don't get to go and see them anymore. They used to be real fun. We'd go out and have a pint with them after work, and it was like being back in Liverpool or Glasgow or Newcastle. Fantastic. Valander, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Didn't realise he was in that one. Again, I wouldn't really, would I? Because I just avoid them like the plague. Yeah, Casper, so yeah, to cheer yourself up, you watch something as bleak as that. Is that it can't be that bad? Yes, it is. I'll watch this instead. Yeah, I totally get that. Maybe that's where I'm doing something wrong. Sunday nights really are that bad that I should be watching bleak Scandi dramas and it'll cheer me up. Oh, the Barcelona game was on, wasn't it? But I've missed that, so to hell with the consequences. What else is on instead? Yes, I know the app's no longer supported. This stupid thing. Oh, there's something on BBC Two at the moment called The Devil's Confession. Jeff, get on, lad. There's Resident Evil, Blue Bloods, Death in Paradise. There's just Jeff is all over the UK schedules at the moment. Oh, BBC 4 is just Shakespeare all night, isn't it? Yeah. Big Brother, shite. House of Kardashian, I would rather staple my ball bag to a raging elephant. The Craze, the prison years. Weren't all years the prison years for the Craze? No, TV is absolutely garbage apart from 10 o'clock onwards, Father Ted on 4 Extra. And yet I pay an absolute fortune for it. With every streaming site known to man, every Sky package you can think of, and there is literally feck all to watch. When's my next football match attendance? Good question. I think, is it next week? Saturday the 4th of November is the next home game. Stop bringing up sport, Mandy. A raging elephant, yep. A raging elephant, is that what happens after you drink elephant beer from Denmark? Do you get done for being drunk and disorderly? Thank you very much. That's my first dad joke of the night. They aren't miserable, good dark fun. That's fair enough. I don't mind a bit of darkness. I mean, I watch loads of dark humour, dark comedy, like, Inside Number 9, Psycho Veil, The League of Gentlemen. So I don't mind the dark side of things. I never got round to watching The Mighty Boosh again, which I should do, because I love the dark side of that as well. Man, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good dad joke, that. Yeah. I was going to staple my ball bag to it rather than watching some of the rubbish. The Kardashians, I would rather staple my ball bag to a raging elephant than watch the Kardashians. I can't promise to make it the last man. Can't. I'm a dad. A dad joke. That's what we do. You just bubble to the surface and then bang, there you go. Before you know where you are, you've made a dad joke. It's all the years of training. Being sat on the sofa. Yes, I am following the Eredivisie. Ajax is in relegation place, second from the bottom. They lost again today, didn't they? Bad result for them. No idea why they're in such a bad position. Although I can't say much because FC Twente were winning 2-0 and drew 2-2. Away to Heracles in the derby, our local derby, so I'm gutted with that. Kirsty, you're off, no worries. No worries at all. Thank you for appearing. I always like it when you do. Especially when you do slideys. Can't beat a good slidey. Cruelty to elephants. Well, thank you very much. And the Kardashians is not cruelty to me. Yeah, lost 4-3 today. Yeah, seeing that. I just don't know what's going on with Ajax. You'd think they would be set up for life. They always seem to bring through players that they can sell and make a fortune on. A very well run club, and yeah, something seems to be very, very wrong. Very Evertonian, to be honest. They are very much like my club. The Green Butchers is a good one to start with, or Flickering Lights or Adam's Apples. What popped off unexpectedly apart from Jeff? Observation, bathroom doggo, delicious nervous vehicle Wi-Fi. I think if I seen an observation doggo in the bathroom, I'd be nervous. Nothing delicious about it. But there you go. It's the kind of thing that we need to take into account. No one's level up, have they, for ages? Still loads of points going on though, so people are definitely doing alright. I haven't levelled up either, even though I am Botrix apparently. Kirsty, are you back or are you going? Or both? A little bit of both. Yep, Saturday the 4th of November, 3 o'clock against Brighton. We're going to get mullered, aren't we? Obviously. Oh, honestly, I cannot see when the next win is coming from. Especially the next home games. Jesus. The next Everton home games. Brighton, Man United, Newcastle, Chelsea, Man City, Villa, Spurs, and Palace. That's it, that's next year. Palace could be the next winner home in February. Oh God, no. Brighton. It could be a while till you level up again, you never know, Mandy. Depending if Jeff is in a good mood. Horny Jeff. You had a drug dog in training at the clinic a few months back to see if we could spot some stuff. Steve, I can't see us beating United. Although we have got a good record against them at home. We did against Arsenal as well, and then they turned us over this year. Arsenal, Chelsea and Man United we have done bizarrely well against, considering we've been shite for years. Doggy found some dried out cannabis above the ceiling in one of the bedrooms. Good work, dog. Jack doesn't like it if you cheat. It was mentioned in Kev's stream last night, funnily enough, Barnsey. We were talking about levelling up. Doesn't like cheating. Fair play to him, but no one's cheated. I could cheat if I wanted to, but no point. You thought he'd find a loss, so either there was nothing or he needs more training. maybe there was nothing, and you've got people who are in there who genuinely want to get better. I mean, obviously, I'm the same as you on that one. I think I would probably doubt it. People have a tendency to pretend to want to get better, but will still carry on doing what they're normally doing. But you never know. They are amazing, though, aren't they, those dogs? Absolutely incredible. Like me, funnily enough, the other day I was sneezing like a Colombian airport sniffer dog. Don't know how they manage it there. Can you go and check this plane? And it's just full of them. Full of people who've been in contact with Peruvian marching powder. They all want to get better. Nobody's forced to get treatment. Right, so it's a voluntary thing, but are they all volunteering to get better, or are they doing it for family reasons as well? If you want to get better, you need to put the effort in. So maybe that's what it is. There is nothing there. They actually want to get better. Hopefully that's what it is anyway. And the dog is well trained and will find whatever is in there as and when it appears. Good dog and good patience, if that's the case. Fingers crossed for him, thumbs held, and whatever else you say around the world. Good luck and get better. Horrible seeing people who are struggling with any kind of dependency. Says the man who drinks about 10 cups of tea out of this each day. I'm not dependent on it. I just need it. It gets me through the day, you know what I mean? Although I'll be going soon to have me nice glass of alcohol-free red as a celebration. I've got a few different types as well. I've been branching out, see if I can try a few different ones. I've got a Tempranillo, which I haven't tried before. I might have a go with that. See how that tastes. Although I've got a feeling it might be a little bit thin. People don't just get admitted. There's a lot of outpatient contact. Alright, so it's not just, there's lots of involvement to begin with. Picking people. I didn't get me crunchy nut cornflakes. I meant to, but when I got there yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. I ended up buying a pan of chocolate, like I said. And I bought tortellini and something else because I wanted to try a few different things. So I didn't want to be dragging a really heavy bag back with me. So I bought a load more stuff than I normally would do. But when I go tomorrow, because I will need to go tomorrow, I will definitely get some. Because of a night when I'm starting to feel a bit peckish, crunchy nut cornflakes with almond milk is a really healthy-ish option to have rather than phoning for a kebab or something shite. Kebab. But I bought something else as well that I wanted to try and I can't remember what it was, but it's in the freezer. What was it? Oh, Tesco party food. You can tell it's getting towards Christmas. They put a little party foods out. All the stuff that you cook at the same temperature. 200 degrees for 20 minutes. Chicken balti naan breads. Little naan breads with chicken balti on there. I wouldn't mind having a go with that to see what kind of party food that is, because I can eat a full box of that by myself. Oh, but I need to do me weigh-in and my blood pressure because it's Sunday night. So that's why that's there. My diary and my pen. When I did it last week, I did it in here. I'll take that with me. Get myself sorted. You can't remember the last time you had a kebab? Would it have been the last time you went out on the ale? That's normally the time everyone in the UK has them. And if you don't, you've got mates who eat them during the day. They get very funny looks. I had a mate who used to get one occasionally in work. But 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he sat in the break room eating a kebab. I think, what are you doing, lad? You can't be on the ale already. Steve, you never had a kebab? It's part of the UK tradition, innit? Go out, get absolutely steaming, hammered, eat a kebab, absolutely loaded with chilli sauce, and then piss steam for a week afterwards. Definitely a very, very UK kind of thing, that. Even though, obviously, the kebab people don't come from the UK. It's a very Greek and German oriented, or Turkish. We've got the best place by us is a Turkish place. I get on very well with the owner, because I accused him of ripping me off one night when I was drunk. I thought I'd given him money, and it wasn't. It was in my top pocket. And I found it the following day when I was home, and I was mortified. So I went in and apologised to him in front of all the people that were in the shop at the time. So I made a dickhead of you in front of people, so I want to apologise in front of you. And he was sound with me ever since. Always waves when he's driving past in his car. I see him in Tesco a lot. Prefer shish to doner. Yep. The chicken ones are nice. Flame grilled chicken kebabs. Ugh. It's a thing in Denmark as well. Yep. It'll be. I think most of Europe will have their own version of it. Kebabs are quite a wild food, aren't they? Everywhere you go to, there'll be a version of it. But yeah, that tradition of getting drunk and eating a big fat kebab on the way home, that's a very UK thing. Unless you're in Scotland, they're far more likely to have a fish supper or something deep fried up there. But again, if you've been on the ale, you need something stodgy to soak everything up, and that's what we do. Loads of in a bread. Obviously, kebabs in a bread thing. Really heavy meat in bread with salad. Why is it in salad? I mean, obviously, kebabs are not healthy. Salad is something that you don't eat when you're on a health kick, and you have it when it's in the most unhealthy thing on earth. And I can't remember the last time I had a kebab either. It must be drunk as a skunk and eat a kebab or chips on the way home. Yep. Again, it must be a Northern European tradition. Get pissed, get a kebab. It's the way to do it. Did you see Dave's vid when he made one? Which Dave? Dave Lister? Or Stone Dave? I know loads of Daves. You have to narrow it down for me. I can't remember the last time I had one. I used to like him as well. Stone. Oh, I didn't see that one. I'll have to go back to his YouTube channel and see if I can find him. But I used to, when me and my mate used to meet up, when we left the pub, obviously he lived in one part of town and we moved to another part of town, and we didn't work in the same pub anymore, so we had to meet up for a drink. We'd meet in another pub halfway in between the two houses, and we'd always go and get a kebab on the way home. He'd walk one way, I'd walk the other. So that was probably the last time I had a regular kebab, and that would have been ages ago. Weird. He's got a mini rotisserie thing. I've seen them before. Yeah, you can order them, can't you, on the internet and make your own stuff. Oh man, I'm gonna have to check that out. Although it's not a good idea, is it, if you're feeling starving. Love the salad, yeah, have my tomato and cucumber in, along with the dressing and the meat. Yep. What do ours have with them as well? We have shredded cabbage, don't we? And whatever the mad sauce you've got with them. Oh, I should stop talking about stuff like that when I'm about to take my blood pressure and I'm starving. Not healthy. Might have to be a few more of them, mightn't it? Graze bars, because they're healthy. Or I go and do me chicken balti naan, throw them in the oven. See how many of them I can throw down my gizzard before my brain explodes. Tzatziki, that's the stuff, isn't it? Keep forgetting about that. It's good healthy stuff. Kebabs aren't bad for you if you make them yourself. I mean, obviously processed meat's never good, but you can make them so that they're fairly healthy compared to other stuff that you would have. And if you have the right kind of salad with them, they'll be alright. How do we? Yep. Yeah, of course, it's that time of night, isn't it? Doggy peas and then bed and then work tomorrow. Velterusting. Good luck with your walk. Yeah, probably time for me to go as well, because that mug is now making me want to go out and go for a pee. When I don't need to because we have bathrooms all over the house. Yeah, so, yeah, we'll start getting ourselves sorted. Start packing up. The moon's lasted alright, hasn't it? It's gone brighter. I think I prefer it like that because it lasts a bit longer. It doesn't blow the screen out. Ja. Wel trusten, bedankt voor de gezelligheid. Ah. Almost got my tongue trapped there. Graag gedaan. Cheers, Steve. It has gone quick tonight, hasn't it? It seems all quick most nights when we do this. That is all down to yourselves as well. Fantastic company. I always enjoy it and it does fly by. So thank you very, very much. You are, as always, absolute stars. And thank you all. I'll set another one up for Wednesday. If we manage to get through the week unscathed, we'll meet again. I do know where and I do know when. Right, I will see you soon. Ta-ra for a bit.